Greetings everyone and welcome to my review of LEGO 40450 Amelia Earhart Tribute. So, yeah, I've already built it, and I don't think that should be a surprise at this point. I build everything before I actually start reviewing it because I want to mess around with it and just play around with it and see what it has to offer. And I'll be honest, there isn't too much to offer with this set. It is, of course, a gift with purchase set for £100 or $100. I do believe it is also €100, though I may be wrong. You'll have seen that in the start card. But yeah, this is a really interesting set to me. It's very much a display model, which we don't see too often. It has a nice little plaque that says Amelia Earhart Aviation Pioneer. You have a Amelia Earhart minifigure, her map of how she crossed the Atlantic, and her plane. And that is really it. It's really a basic set, though the instructions and the overall build are somewhat complicated. I'm not going to say that they're really, over the top, only adults can build this sort of thing, though, I don't see why a child would really want this. It's not really that playable, which I'll get into in a second, but yeah, it's not the most simple build, but it's also not overly complicated. A lot of studs not on top building techniques are actually used throughout this, mainly for the body and the nose, but throughout it there's not really too much that's vertical. It's really just the back wing and the main wing that's actually the correct way up. Most of it is actually sideways using a lot of plates that are modified, and yeah, let's just get a closer look at the actual plane. So, the plane itself is far smaller than minifigure scale, which is pretty obvious by looking at it. That's supposed to be the cockpit, which is very small. The wings are actually pretty wide overall. I would say that it's actually decent. It's very much playable, it's flyable, though, as I said before, it doesn't really offer much in terms of being a toy. It's much more of a display model, and at that it excels. It's a really well-detailed model, even with their stickers and their stickers, but as long as you line them up like I've mostly done, and it is the same on both sides in that regard, it works pretty well. There's slight breaks, but you're going to have that even with, where the bricks are here, you have the break in the actual line, so overall I think it's fine. As for the front, it's very much just two paddle pieces, which I didn't actually have any of these. This is a very interesting part. But yeah, it can spin a little bit. I'll say it's not really for playing with, so it doesn't really maintain the spin for long. And as I say, the cockpit, pretty basic. Behind the propeller, oh, that's the entire nose. Behind the propeller is just a grate or fan piece, which obviously is supposed to reflect the engine. It's a nice little inclusion and a good print. It's the only print in this entire build because everything, detail-wise, is actually done with stickers, which is kind of unfortunate. I'll get on to a part that I especially think is kind of annoying in a minute. But yeah, generally it's a fine model, and if I was huge into planes, I would definitely really enjoy this just as a concept, especially with the stand. Of course, that bit of black right there is pretty much there because it has to be, so that you can connect it over to the stand, and you technically can remove it. It's 2 parts, technically, it's 3 parts total, 3 pieces, but, and that cleans it up a little bit. If you just want to display the plane on its own, that's perfectly reasonable, that's a perfectly fine design, and, it is what it is. It's supposed to be a display model first and foremost. It makes sense they would have some parts that are a bit unsightly. That nose really likes to come off. It's only held on with 4 studs, and, it's not the strongest connection out there. It's also not the easiest thing just to snap back on, but there we go. But yeah, let's look at the stand. The stand is very much no-nonsense. I'm going to quickly just take the minifigure off it for now, but there is actually placement for the minifigure specifically, right there with 2 studs, and otherwise, details, you've got the Amelia Earhart Aviation Pioneer sticker, which is on a nice, if I can take it off, a nice 2x4 black tile, which connects on with hinges. Very nice. It looks good, in real life. It doesn't really look great on camera, but it works what it is. Has little details like the little plane, the little screws. It looks nice. The actual connection for the plane, as I say, it's basic. It's alright. It is kind of weak because of how it's structurally built. It's a lot of studs not on top, and overall it's not ideal. The actual size of this is kind of ridiculously big, especially compared to things like the Ultimate Collector series from Star Wars. But if I just show quickly how it connects back on, so as I say, there's a little hinge right here. If I just click that on, and there you go. You can technically hinge it up and down, but it won't actually stay. There's no actual support there, so it just drops. There's no actual mechanism that you would hold it in place. You would have to add your own pieces to support it on the back. But otherwise, you know, it's alright. It gives a good angle overall, and basically from any angle that you look at this or place this, you're going to be looking at a good view of this set. And that is one of the benefits of a set like this. It's meant for display, so it works really well for display. But let's get on to the minifigure and my overall thoughts. Now, the minifigure is kind of interesting overall. It has only, as far as I'm aware, one exclusive piece, that being the torso. This map is actually a sticker, which was the thing that I was saying was a bit annoying about the use of stickers over prints. I think this should, despite the fact that this is just a freebie, should probably be a print. And I don't know, that's kind of annoying to me. It's a very nice sticker, it works well, and as long as it's stuck on correctly, it looks fine. I don't mind it. I just wish it was a print. But the minifigure itself is pretty basic. As I say, the torso is the only thing that I believe to be exclusive. The face appears to be from Star Wars, but I cannot place it with a specific character. No back face, which could make it technically exclusive, because I think the facial expression isn't, but the actual fact that it's only got one face is. Otherwise, you've got the nougat legs, you've got the creamy coloured hands, the flesh tone face, obviously, which goes against it being like a city figure. I do kind of enjoy that it's actually, you know, flesh tone rather than it being yellow, but I understand why some people don't like that. Otherwise, aviator helmet comes with the classic goggles pieces. Very interesting. You can obviously put them up, or you can put them down. The instructions actually say to put them down, but I think that it looks better with them a little bit up, just overall as just a general style. But yeah, otherwise, very nice figure and goes very well with the set. So overall, this is a very nice set. The instructions are the wide, tall variety, which are kind of awkward to get on camera, but I'm going to try my best. I think that's the best I'm going to do. They do have a very nice tribute to Amelia Earhart, which, once again, can't really show that well on camera, at least with this angle. But it's very nice to have it, and, you know, if you're going to keep anything out of the packaging, you're likely going to be keeping the instructions, so you can build it again, potentially. So it's nice that they include it in that. Spare pieces-wise, I've just kind of connected them all together, but you get a windscreen, a stud, just bits and bobs, nothing of real value. You get a corner stud, and another pair of goggles, which I'm sure someone could find a use for, and the sticker sheet is, as I say, pretty extensive. It's not unreasonable, but I would rather some of these be prints, especially that matte piece. But yeah, for a freebie, this is great, and I can't suggest enough, if you're already planning on getting £100 worth of Lego, definitely do it now. I, as I said in my haul video where I showed this off, was going to get the Imperial Shuttle regardless, and that is 60, so I wasn't far off anyway. So just getting odd other sets I was interested in, and I get this really cool tribute set. So overall, I definitely suggest, if you can, get this set while it's free. I wouldn't necessarily say it's worth getting second hand, because I guarantee this set would only sell for $20 if it was sold by Lego. On the second hand market, it'll probably be around $50. If that's still what you see as being worth it, go for it, but otherwise, only really get this if you can get it for either $20 or thereabouts, or free as part of a promotion. So, otherwise, thanks for watching this review. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, and I'll see you next time. Bye!